It started at like about 8 years ago as a feature I wrote. And it's unrecognizable to that thing for the most part, other than like that was about it was like a little indie comedy drama coming of age story about a kid who goes up to a resort with his parents on vacation, and then strikes up like a friendship with this other couple that's there celebrating their anniversary. And it's like there were early versions of Sam and his parents and early versions of Emma and Noah. And the script didn't really work that well. It didn't. I didn't do anything with it. I didn't show anybody it really. And then, but I couldn't quite quit it either. And so I would just go back to it every couple of years. And I would dismantle it and try something new with it. I try to turn it into like an hour-long series. I try to turn it a limited series. Try to turn it like a half-hour mini series. I try to turn it into a movie again. I threw everything against the wall. And after many failed attempts, I realized, like in the whatever 6-7 years later, I realized I was not only looking at the script itself and then where my life was at the time when I wrote it, and then the story that inspired the original script, like all through this nostalgic lens, and this thing that I I was trying to recapture something that I couldn't recapture. And in that time I got older, and I I got a family, and my career took different turns, and the world changed drastically. And then so in all of that then became like that was all kind of filtered into it all. And it just and then I split up those like the two main factions of the original story, like the seeds of Emma and Noah and the seeds of Sam and his family, and then made it about this mystery, finding this phone, and they're trying to solve the mystery of what happened to Sam and Violet, but also trying to like figure out what happened to their marriage. And so there's a mystery component kind of baked into that. And so from that point, it was always centered around being a movie initially, but then it just kind of ballooned and ballooned, and it just, I don't know, out of necessity became what it is. The story I wanted to tell is it doesn't need to be told in 50 episodes. It basically just like it's big enough to be more than a movie, but small enough to be like less than a 50 episode or 30 episode TV show as well.
Well, in addition to the mystery at kind of the core of the series, there's also two love stories in very different portions of the relationship that we're seeing play out. And so I'm curious what the writing process was like for you in kind of crafting that beating heart of those romances juxtaposed with the mystery that you were also playing out.
Yeah, it was very hard. Like when in the writers' room last year, it was always a challenge. Like I never wanted the audience to be ahead of the story, and so like it's always a game of how much we're showing of the past. But at the same time, like when I felt like I first cracked the story, to me it was in the script it says it's when Emma's on the bed doing her research and figured out like all this everything that happened at the Ocean Vista. And then it says like, but this isn't a story about blood, death, and murder. This is a love story. And then it cuts back to Sam in the past. And I think from that point on, in every conversation I had from that point on, I was like, we're now like trained to watch like multiple timeline mystery shows where like, and you'll get just little nuggets of the mystery in the past. And I kind of wanted to show a lot more of the mystery in the past. I wanted to fall in love with those characters rather than them just being like, the tragic figures that disappear or are murdered or whatever ends up happening in stories that we've seen like this. I'd rather like I want to attach ourselves to these characters. I think in order to do that, and not so it's not not at all like exploitative. It's like we just have to live with them for a bit and really get deep and really understand who they are, and not play the past for just the mystery part, but play the past for the relationship first, and the mystery just kind of like sprinkled on top.